Every eye is on him. But did you know there is one figure who always walks half a step behind Jimin? Silent, sharp, and almost never highlighted by the camera. Why is it that every time Jimin appears at airports, major events, or the most critical moments, that man is always there? Is this purely about security? Or is there a deeper level of trust we've yet to understand? On the Jikook Lover channel today, we're uncovering a side rarely discussed by the public, the powerful synergy between Jimin and his trusted bodyguard, Jusang, a professional relationship that has sparked global fan speculation. With every step Jimin takes, there is always a shadow following him. Not to steal attention, not to stand in front of the camera, but to guarantee one non-negotiable thing: safety. Yet the public has begun to ask questions when that shadow feels too consistent, too calm, and too perfectly synchronized with a global star's movements. That name is Jusang, a bodyguard who is no longer seen as merely a protector, but as an inseparable part of Jimin's evolving global narrative. This phenomenon did not happen overnight. At first, only a handful of fans noticed the pattern. At airports, amid chaotic crowds and flashing cameras, Jimin walks forward with a composed expression, while Jusang positions himself just behind or beside him with precise spacing. Never too close to invade personal space, never too far to lose control. A balance that cannot exist without absolute trust. Questions began to surface. Why does Jimin appear so at ease? Why are small gestures, slowing his pace, shifting direction, a brief glance, immediately mirrored by Jusang? Is this simply the result of elite professional training, or something deeper that cannot be taught? In the world of global celebrities, bodyguards are often anonymous figures. They come and go, changing with schedules, locations, and contracts. Jusang, however, is different. His presence is consistent, visible, felt. And because of that, the public has started to notice him. Every time Jimin faces massive crowds, deafening cheers, or unpredictable situations, Jusang becomes the stabilizing force. His face rarely shows emotion, but his eyes are always moving, scanning, calculating. And in those moments, Jimin appears calm, as if he knows that whatever happens, someone is already one step ahead. Fans began collecting clips. Short videos circulating online show Jusang instinctively blocking sudden pushes, subtly guiding Jimin's body without excessive contact, or standing in positions that naturally divide the crowd. Nothing dramatic, nothing aggressive, just effective. Too effective to ignore. Then came the bigger question: did Jimin personally choose Jusang, or was this a company decision? There has been no official answer, but body language often speaks louder than press releases. In many moments, Jimin seems to adjust his pace to Jusang, sometimes even pausing for a split second as if ensuring his bodyguard is ready before stepping forward into the cameras. In the high-pressure world of Korean entertainment, trust is the most expensive currency. A global idol like Jimin doesn't just carry his own name, but the reputation of his group, his company, and millions of fans worldwide. A small mistake can become an international headline. A minor threat can escalate into a global crisis. So when a bodyguard is given that level of proximity, the public knows this is not a casual decision. This synchrony becomes even more striking when compared to Jimin's earlier years. Back then, security felt rigid, fragmented, constantly changing faces. Now there is consistency. There is pattern. There is rhythm. As if Jimin and Jusang understand each other without words. Speculation spread rapidly. Fans began to wonder whether Jusang is merely a protector or also a situational advisor. Does he guard only Jimin's physical safety or also serve as a mental anchor amid overwhelming pressure? There is no proof, yet the silence only deepens the mystery. In certain moments, cameras capture details so subtle they leave fans speechless. A brief look before moving forward. An almost invisible nod. A shift in formation without a single word spoken. This isn't staged choreography. It's spontaneous coordination born from shared experience. And that kind of instinct can only be built over time and trust. International media have started referring to Jusang as the Invisible Shield, a title not born from hype, but from repeated visual evidence. He doesn't seek attention, yet attention finds him. Nearly every public photo of Jimin shares one constant detail: a tall, composed figure, dressed neatly, standing in a strategically calculated position. What makes this phenomenon even more compelling is Jimin's own response. There is no resistance, no visible discomfort. Instead, there is harmony. Amid exhausting schedules, long flights, and relentless global pressure, Jimin appears more grounded. Fans are beginning to link that stability to the security environment he now moves within. Can a bodyguard influence an idol's aura? Once, this question sounded excessive. Now, watching Jimin move with such confidence through high-risk public spaces, the question feels justified. Professional relationships like this are rarely discussed, let alone elevated into a central narrative. Yet precisely because of its rarity, the story of Jimin and Lee Jusang feels different. This is not a tale of fame. It is a story of trust behind the scenes. Two individuals with different roles, united by the same purpose. As discussions grow more viral, fan debates intensify. Some insist this is simply top-tier professionalism. Others believe an emotional bond has naturally formed. Some even worry whether such reliance is healthy in the long run. But one fact remains undeniable. Every time Jimin walks calmly through the chaos of the outside world, Lee Jusang is there. Silent, ready, consistent. And in an era where everything changes rapidly, consistency is rare. Now, the public no longer sees only Jimin as a global star. They see the system around him. And at the center of that system stands a man who rarely speaks, rarely smiles for the camera, yet is always present at the most critical moments. The question now is no longer who Lee Jusang is, but how significant his role truly is in keeping Jimin whole amid the pressure of the world. Is this simply flawless professional security? Or are we witnessing a rare bond of trust that few global idols ever experience? And if one day Lee Jusang is no longer by Jimin's side, will the world notice the difference, or will that be the moment we finally realize how much he mattered all along?